Perswayable. What's going on, everybody? That's my intro music because I'm ghetto and that's all I can afford. My name is Perswayable. I'm an OT graduate student and I'm also an anime enthusiast. Welcome to One Take. One Take means that I only have one shot to give an episode review or a manga review without the unnecessary garbage of doing 12 takes and chopping it up and coming out with a video making me look perfect. I don't like that. I think it's fake, and I think a lot of people are starting to sense that within the YouTube community. I hope you guys can appreciate this, and by all means, if you disagree with me, let me know. That's the entire point of having these sorts of discussions. You don't need to agree with me on everything. So before beginning, what I will say is that I released a poll. There was over 275 votes. The poll simply asked people, did they enjoy the Boruto episode 49 more than they did not enjoy it? And the results were only 52% said that they enjoyed the episode more than they did not enjoy it, which is quite alarming. So let's talk about some of the good things, and then we'll talk about some of the bad things, and then I'll give my review. The good thing, Wasabi and Namida, I absolutely enjoyed seeing them. Some people complained, they said that the episode felt more like a filler, that it was boring, it wasn't their thing. Well, maybe you have a point, and maybe there are certain points to be made. However, in terms of Wasabi and Namida, it's quite clear that they're going to most likely have a more pivotal role. I enjoy seeing character development. And one of the problems within the Shippuden series, not the original Naruto series, but the Shippuden series, is that a lot of the characters got lost. And I don't want that to occur with the Boruto series, so I actually think it was necessary for them to have their own episode so we can learn more about them. I also enjoyed watching them two argue because that's what plenty of friends do. Some people complained about how Wasabi is too cold-hearted and Namida's a big crybaby. Well, this is actually a stark contrast to what Ino and Sakura were like when they were kids. And we learned more about them during the Chunin preliminaries when Sakura and Ino fought each other, and even before that. So it's good to see their character development, especially since they're friends and they're on the same team. Let's talk about Hanabi, another pro thing. She is, oh my god, she's the hottest one in the series. I'm 27 years old, I'm almost a practitioner in OT, and I feel like a creep saying that some anime figure is the hottest one. But you know what? I refuse to budge. I'm not budging. She's the hottest one in the series. If she fell off a bridge and landed on my face, well, I'd probably snap my C-spine, but I would be willing to take the gamble. She's gorgeous, and I absolutely love seeing her. So I think any episode with her is definitely a pro. And it was really good to see her also as a sensei. So let's continue moving forward. So I enjoyed also seeing Sai and Sumire. One of the problems I feel the series has had is that you have these separate arcs and then they just move on from each other, and sometimes you don't feel like they're actually connected. It's almost as if they're fragmented. So seeing that Sai is catching up and keeping tabs on Sumire, I think is a good thing because it reinforces the notion that, hey, we have this purple-haired girl that kind of loses her mind, tries to kill everybody in the village, and then we just let her go free. No, that's not how it would work in the real life either. So it's good to see that people are still keeping tags on Sumire to make sure that she's in line. Also, I enjoyed seeing New, nothing new, love seeing New. Get it? It was a dumb joke. If you didn't laugh, don't worry, it was a terrible joke. However, I'm glad that Wasabi and Namida already knew about New, because we've seen New summoned, especially in episode 36 or 37, when you saw Sumire summon her New next to Sarada. So it's good that it wasn't like this big surprise to him, so there's no plot hole there. What's also interesting with this episode, I consider it a pro, is Wasabi. So the two jutsus that we saw in episode 49 is not the jutsu that we saw in episode 37. So in episode 49, the first jutsu was called the Persian Siamese tortoiseshell. She had a blue cloak and she had blue eyes. The second jutsu that we saw, all we saw is it was called tortoiseshell ninja art cat cloak. And we saw a black ear, a white ear, and a red tail. So those two are different, and we knew that. But in episode 37, if you go back when we saw all of the academy students join together in that battle against Anko or Anko, I call her Anko. By all means, go and message me and correct me. And fighting Konohamaru, we saw her do a jutsu called Stray Tally. And Stray Tally was more of a green-like chakra that was cloaking her appearance, but she also had yellow eyes. So the two jutsus that we saw in this episode is not any jutsus that we've ever seen before. They are not the same as what we saw in episode 37. So I consider that a pro. And we all love Mitsuki. Mitsuki, his joke at the end was absolutely hysterical regarding women's tears. Young men, young gentlemen, take notes because it's very true. Now, let's talk about some of the cons. So, once again, a lot of people did not enjoy the episode. I think one of the problems is that there was no real threat, right? You had this giant maned wolf, and that was about it. There was no point in time where I actually felt like any of those students were in real danger, and we're gonna get back to that in a second. One of the downfalls of that episode was when all three of them, Sumire, Wasabi, and Namida, were all wearing these costumes chasing animals. And I'm 27 years old. What am I watching? Did I drink a whole bunch of beer and I'm seeing things? Am I inebriated? Oh no, wait, I'm not, unfortunately. So why is it? I just felt like it was way too childish for me. Maybe I'm getting too old. By all means, you could say that. I want to know, how did the monkey get all those animals out? And why did the monkey do it? If you're going to give me a terrible plot, I at least want to know how, why, and yeah, I don't know. Somebody tell me, why did the monkey take the animals out? Well, there was no reason for it. And at the end, when the monkey escaped again, he didn't care about the animals. He only cared about food, which I agree with. So, yeah, anyways, moving forward. So Namida, another con, is that her calling upon no jutsu. This jutsu where she yells. Her entire character so far looks like her jutsus are all based around her crying. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to touch that. I won't be too critical of that. However, what I didn't appreciate is that when she was being chased by the giant maned wolf, she didn't activate it. Now, you may say, well, who cares? Well, in basic physiology, when you have a fight or flight response where you're scared and you have no idea what to do, her natural instinct would be to actually activate that jutsu. She did it in episode 37 when Anko came in and was ready to scoop her, and she closed her ears and she screamed. She activated the call upon no jutsu because it was her instinct too. She was in fear. But we didn't see that with the giant maned wolf. And it wasn't like she was perfectly composed, right? You could make that argument. Hey, she was composed. That's why she didn't activate it. No, she still screamed. She still screamed, but she was running away. So there's really no differentiation between when she screams and when she activates the jutsu. So they need to make sure that going forward with the series, they really are able to develop her character where she's just not screaming at everything and anything, and there's no difference or contrast between when she's regularly screaming versus when she's activating her calling upon no jutsu. Also, the whole meow thing with Wasabi, we saw that in episode 37 as well. Not my thing. Meow, meow. I'm just like, what am I watching? Also, another thing that was a con with this episode is Sumire. I think her character is completely and utterly inconsistent. Her water jutsu barely did anything, just splashed off the giant wolf. Maybe she did that on purpose for some reason, I don't know, but it wasn't explained. I think that she's very inconsistent. At one point, her taijutsu was able to stop Mitsuki, and she was this badass, and she was able to avoid a whole bunch of people. And now she's just kind of like this crybaby who just, I don't know, I don't agree with her character development. So I hope they address that a little bit more. And also, one last thing, this is sort of a minor thing. I do feel like there was a plot hole within this series, within this episode rather. At one point you had Hanabi who said that there were two separate lists of animals that were released. When she was first kind of trying to reconnect with all of her students, she was rushing, like, who would have thought there were two lists of animals? And then at the end, she just simply says, oh, the giant maned wolf was not included on the list. What happened? Are there two lists, or is there just one list that just forgot one animal? Because there was nothing meant. If the animals were released in the wild, then why would you send these academy students if all these other dangerous animals were released? And furthermore, the giant maned wolf seemed like it was the most dangerous animal because that's what we saw in the beginning of the episode with its feet, right? To kind of give us foreshadowing of impending doom. So all in all, in this episode, I give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it was that good of an episode. However, I did enjoy seeing Wasabi. I enjoyed seeing Namida. I enjoyed seeing them fight. And obviously all of the other pros that I mentioned. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this is one take. That's all I got. It's very informal as of now. And hopefully the channel continues growing and expanding. Maybe I can add some stuff to the later videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. By all means, if you disagree with me, by all means comment. Listen, disagreement is good. You are allowed to disagree with me. That's the whole point of dialogue. In the real world, when you work in the medical field or in research, we disagree with each other all the time. So it's good. It's good to have that dialogue, all right? Hey, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you become my friend. Until next week, take care, guys.